This video is brought to you by Earfun. They've done it again. This right here is a sub $100 earbuds with everything 2024 has to offer, including aptX lossless and LDAC in the same product. But that's just a tip of it because it's got so much features in store, basically making it one of the best ANC buds this year. Let's break it down. Selamat pagi, good morning everyone, Kenneth here and welcome to my showcase video of the Earfun Air Pro 4. And look, year after year, this lineup has shown its value, but this year, I think it really finally took the crown. And as usual, to be fully transparent with you, yes, this video is sponsored to be brought up to schedule, but we have agreed that this video will be my own honest opinion. So thanks Earfun for the support and thank you all for watching this video. Without further ado, let's get straight to one of the most important aspects, the sound quality. Here I want to touch briefly on one thing that Earfun executed very well, which is app support. They took some time to launch, but it really is a complete product. Very intuitive, very responsive, and genuinely useful, if you know who I'm throwing shades to. But getting back to the sound, we've got a detailed 10 band EQ, which goes all the way down to 30 Hz. So you're in control of the whole frequency range. And of course, you can save a few EQ presets too, which is always appreciated. Now, I really have no problem running these with the default EQ. They sound well balanced, but as you all know, I love that sweet vocal presence. So in my bright custom EQ, I boost the upper mid range and adjust the bass as well. And you can tweak this further since it's everyone's preference, but let's compare the sound with some song examples now. Starting with Black or White by Michael Jackson, I think the default EQ serves as a great baseline for those who want a balanced sound. The guitar hits nicely, you get the details in the bass line, and the vocals are actually more laid back but still very powerful and clear. This vocal is exactly where I try to bring the focus more, and it might be more tiring over longer listening periods, so I recommend turning down the volume by one click. But yeah, the details are great. You can hear the percussions and the back vocals easily. Moving on to another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. Now, we're gonna bring the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC in. And first of all, the Earfun is one click less loud, but otherwise the bass punch, the vocal presence, they're incredibly similar between the two. What I mean is, it's great to see how you can tune the Earfun exactly to your liking. Whereas with the Soundcore, the EQ ends at 100 Hz, so you cannot really touch the bass. If anything, the Earfun actually has a slightly wider soundstage and less compressed sound overall. And now compared to the $80 Soundpeats Air 4 Pro, we're gonna listen to Orange, the orchestra version by 7 Oops. The volume is about the same here, and I've also increased the upper mid on the Soundpeats, and once again, they both sounded up to par. The amount of detail resolved, the balance across the frequency, and also how the orchestration is played all around. Maybe the Earfun has a slight edge over the separation because I can hear the back vocals separated a bit better, but honestly, it's one thing that Soundpeats does well, which is great to see how the Earfun can match it. Now, it's even crazier when we speak of pricing because normally this thing costs $90, but I've got a 25% off discount code in the description, which brings this down to under $70, which is an insane value. So check out my affiliate links down below. You'll also help me support the channel, and I've made a bass EQ here, which you can try for EDM and pop songs. But for now, we'll continue with the rest of the features because my god, there are so many to talk about. But let's start with the build quality and fit. Let me just say it straight. Earbuds these days have reached a point where all the basics are down. USB-C for charging, battery indicator, pairing button, and a spring-loaded lid. The Earfun looks and feels just as good as the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC, which is better than the Soundpeats Air 4 Pro in my opinion. And Earfun goes a step further by adding a molded soft plastic inside to hold the earbuds in place. And speaking of the earbuds now, this has been pretty much the same design ever since the first Air Pro was launched. And the good is I like that the touch sensor has a dent that you can feel if you're tapping in the right place, but the potential downside is it might hurt around the ear canal after longer listening sessions. I'm talking about multiple hours of wearing these earbuds, yeah? Maybe because of the thicker neck that connects to the stem here, but this might be a very personal thing to me, so your miles may vary. And I found keeping the stem face down to the mouth rather than forward solves the issue, so I just have to keep that in mind. Touching the ANC, we've got several different modes here. There's strong, less strong balanced ANC, which honestly both are very strong, and there are two adaptive ANC that adjust according to your environment. That's the usual adaptive ANC that we all know, but there's a new mode here on the Earfun which adapts to your ear canal and how it leaks noise instead. Personally, I found the environment mode cancels more noise, but you can test both and see which one works best. But now let's just compare the environment adaptive ANC here. Finally, there's an earbud that can compete with my all-time favorite, the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC, but performs even better because the transition before and after adaptation is not as jarring. This also means it blows the Soundbeats Air 4 Pro out of the water, in fact in every single aspect of this, except for sound quality. But getting back to the ANC now, you can say goodbye to low-end rumble and most treble as well. The only thing remains is the upper mid-range where people talking and music playing take place. Also, the noise cancellation is really clean without any hissing. Safe to say this is also one of the best ANC under $100. But now, since the ANC is very strong, it actually feels a bit suffocating in less noisy places, which is where the wind noise cancelling mode comes in. It opens up the upper mid a little bit, which gives you more room to breathe, while also rejecting wind noise, of course. But unfortunately, you cannot really set the specific ANC modes into the touch controls. So you have to make a quick trip to the app. Fortunately, the app loads quickly, and we'll talk about it in a second. Now, touching transparency mode, at the time of review, we got a new natural mode with a firmware update. And honestly, I feel like the default transparency is more natural sounding. It doesn't emphasize on any specific frequency range and opens up the pressure more, where the natural mode is like a less open mode instead. Still, it's good to have options, and compared to the others, I feel like the Earfun has that bone conduction low-end sound, possibly due to the tighter ear tips fit. Although in general, it's just as open as the others, so you can definitely hold the conversation, wear this the whole day long, no problem. And happy to see that switching between ANC modes doesn't interrupt the music that's playing. Now, if you appreciate the video so far, do hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more tech and audio contents like this. Thank you so much, and let's tackle the next big aspect, which is the Earfun app. Man, I would dare say it is up there with the best, rivaling the Soundcore and even big names like Sony and Bose in ease of use and app responsiveness. I really like the fact that you don't need to register for an account if you want to quickly change things, but it is helpful if you want to sync your EQs across phones. But let's start with controls customization. It's almost perfect here. Basically, the only feature I want is for everyone to copy Soundcore, where you can assign different control scheme for 2 earbuds or 1 earbud use. This is a very nice quality of life update, but otherwise it is perfect. You can assign gaming mode or switch between ANC and transparency only, so you skip normal mode. And the touch sensitivity is good as well. One thing on the wear detection feature is I found a few times where it pauses music while I'm wearing the earbuds. I'm not moving too crazy here, but it loses detection that I'm wearing it. Again, I found that this doesn't happen when you point the stem lower to my mouth, so maybe it's just how you wear it correctly. Just don't twist it forward. Moving on to the next group of features. Firstly, we got multi-point connection. This works perfectly, and signal-wise, I could leave my phone on the first floor, go to the second floor without any problem. And you can assign which microphone to use, which is something I never see aside from the AirPods. You can change the volume and language of the voice prompt. And probably one of the most exciting feature here is it supports literally every new codec we have this year, aside from LHDC, because that's a Huawei thing. Now, last year, I've shown you how LE Audio and LC3 codec brings ultra low latency under 100 milliseconds, which rivals wired stuff. And I really want to test that out here, but unfortunately, at the moment, it's only supported on the latest Samsung and Google devices. And also with this, you have the first ever Auracast support on a budget earbud. This basically lets you tune into a public TV in a gym or a canteen or whatnot. I know this sounds super futuristic because it is. I haven't been able to test it out, but you're future-proofing yourself when they do come out. And also for the latency test, I can try borrow my father's phone. Let me know if you want to see it. Aside from that, you get Google Fast Pair, LDAC, and aptX lossless support, like I said at the start. Let me say it straight. All of these high-res codecs drain 1 to 2 hours more battery and gives you a probable placebo up to 10% of sound quality increase. But LDAC is more widely supported, or if aptX lossless is available on your phone, which is Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or above, you can also enjoy automatic low latency mode when you play games. Of course, there's also a dedicated gaming mode when you use other codecs, but one minus point with LDAC is you cannot do multi-point, while with aptX lossless, you can do it. I think when it works, the aptX lossless is more useful in day-to-day basis, but you always have the option in the app, which is great, and if you want to save battery, just use AAC SBC. Speaking of which, let's talk battery life. Perhaps because the new chip is more energy efficient, we're getting around 11 hours of playtime with ANC off, AAC, and 50% volume on the Earfun Air Pro 4. That is 1 hour more than the claimed number on the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC. But when you do use ANC or transparency, both trade blows equally at around 7 to 8 hours here. Do keep in mind, however, the more features you turn on, like LDAC or using the mic in phone calls, the number might get closer to 6 hours, but that's still a lot for a single listening session. And speaking of LE audio, it's supposed to be more energy efficient as well, so we might get more battery there, but we'll have to wait and see again because currently the support is very limited. Touching on the case here, it has about 4 times more charges, which is great. I never had any urgency to charge these buds during testing, and being able to wirelessly charge means I can always drop it on a charger from time to time and never really run out of battery. But let's say normally you'll get up to 2 weeks, no problem with these, so battery life, it's amazing. Last and just as importantly, the microphone quality. This is something that the Soundpeats fell short, while the Earfun manages to do it just as well as the Soundcore, which is the last nail that firmly places it at the #1 spot for the best under 100 this year. But enough speaking now, let's check out the test yourself.
Okay, welcome everyone to the microphone test. We are now with the Earfun Air Pro 4. And what do you think of the microphone quality? We're going to compare it with some of my other top picks at this price very soon. And we're in a busy shopping mall right now. You'll hear it at the end with the iPhone microphone. Okay, let's switch over. Okay, so here we are now with the Soundpeats Air Pro 4. What do you think of the voice and sound quality? This is how it looks like. Let's move on to my next topic now. All right, here we are now with the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC, one of my best top pick for almost like more than a year at this point. But how does it compare to the other earbuds in the list? And yeah, let's move on to the phone microphone right now, and we'll see how this thing actually sounds.
Okay, so now we are recording with just the iPhone microphone, and my kid is calling me right now. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it really sounds like. Which one do you think is the best one? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.